The time is now 8:42, and I hereby call to order the Public Housing Authority regular meeting on September 24, 2019. Oh, I'm sorry. The time is wrong on my clock here. The time is actually 5:43. Okay, Madam Clerk, if you could please call the meeting, the roll call.
Director Bach? Here. Director Mahar? Director Trumbull?
Here.
Director Roa?
Here.
Vice Chair Member Alvarado?
Here.
And Chair Member Manania?
Here. Thank you very much. So at this time, we'll allow general public comment, and this is for the Public Housing Authority meeting of 5:30. Do we have any general public comment for this meeting? Seeing none, do we have any changes to the agenda organization? Okay, moving. We do not have any public hearings. Would anyone like to pull any item from the consent calendar?
B2?
B3.
Thank you very much. Do we have any other items that would like to be pulled for a separate discussion? Okay, seeing none, do we have any public comment for the remainder of the consent calendar? Seeing no public comment, can I get a motion to approve the remainder of the consent calendar?
I'll make a motion to approve the rest of the consent calendar.
I'll second it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Item B2, Beautification Program Update Report for the month of August 2019. Funding source, Low Moderate Income Housing Fund. Do we have a staff report?
Of the board. Basically, this is a routine monthly report that we present every month to the board, and basically gives a status on the funding for the different single-family homes that are receiving assistance from the former RDA set-aside funds that we had in housing.
Do we have any public comment for this item? Seeing no public comment?
Yes. I'm not sure if this is like the right area where to request this, but I would like to revise the guidelines of the beautification program. I believe that owners who have 2 or 3 houses and are receiving assistance, that should be revised, because they are living in one home and they have 2 or 3 more generating income, and the city funding them. I don't think they are low income. So that's why I'm requesting if we could revise the guidelines.
Well, I believe that for tonight, this is like I said, this was a monthly routine report. If you want to have that agendized at a future date, then we can bring back the guidelines so you can discuss them and see if there's any support. But I believe, Gloria, if you can, I believe assistance is provided for up to 3 homes, I believe, and it is low income.
So someone owning 3 homes and
up
they
to
are they are considered low income?
The tenant that's occupying the dwelling, correct, would have to be low
But I
income.
believe the owner should be responsible to fixing the house.
So if I may, because we're getting into the parameters of the guidelines, we'll bring that back to the next agenda for discussion.
Do we have any comments on the actual update?
No, thank you.
Okay, can I get a motion to approve the beautification program update?
I'll make the motion to approve the beautification program update.
Okay, can I get a second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Item B2, this is PHA resolution number 2019-023. This is to approve warrants for housing assistance payments for the month of August 2019 in the amount of $95,496.38. Do we have a staff report?
Ms. Hollingsworth?
Ms. Gloria Thomas will present the staff report on this.
Good evening, Honorable Chair Member and members of the board. This is a monthly staff report that we do routinely, and it reflects the monthly leases that we have for the Section 8 program. Currently, for the month of September, the expenditure was at $95,496 with 38 cents. Any questions?
I'll
Yes.
open it up for public comment if you don't mind. Do we have any public comment for this item? Item B3? Okay, seeing none.
Yes, the new governor's going to raise rents, having owners raise rent 7%. So is it going to affect this right here?
It should not. This is only based on, rent increase are based on when the owner does request one. We review those accordingly. So based on what the governor is proposing, I'm not familiar completely, but rent increases is based on per owner and per request, and we review them accordingly.
But if they're encouraged or kind of forced to raise rent, it's going to cost us more, right?
Usually, when we review rent increases, because this is a federally funded program, we don't always honor the amount that the owner requests, especially if it's above $100. Again, we review them accordingly
All right, thank you very
and
much.
based on comparables.
Yes, okay. Because I spoke with a homeowner who owns several homes, and they're saying that the state's going to make them raise 7%. And he goes, it's crazy. He'd rather keep it low because people stay in your house when you're low, and they take care of it for you. When it's high, people come in and out, and they tear it up. So, but if the state's going to force them to do it, he said, I have no choice, you know? So that's a sad thing for residents and owners, I guess, you know? Okay, thank you very much. I'll keep an eye on it and get back to you.
Thank you.
Do we have any other comments or questions? Seeing none, could I get a motion to approve PHA resolution number 2019-023?
I motion to move 2019-0 or dash 023.
I'll second it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Item C1, PHA resolution number 2019-024, adopting revised housing choice voucher program payment standards.
Honorable Chairperson and members of the board, Ms. Gloria Thomas will have this staff report for you.
Yes, this is something that HUD does annually. They recently published fair market rents, and the fair market rents are used by public housing authorities to establish payment standards that are used to for contract rents. Currently, we are proposing to increase the payment standards so that the applicant or the tenant can have a probability of finding a decent and affordable unit. Payment standards are usually used and applied during when an applicant finds a new lease, when a participant moves from one unit to another, or when the housing authority determines continued eligibility for the program. Again, this is something that the housing authority does every year, and again, the staff is proposing to increase the payment standards for this year. Any questions?
I'll open it up for public comment. Do we have any public comment on item C1? Okay, seeing none. Do we have any questions? Okay, seeing none, can I get a motion to approve resolution number 2019-024?
I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 2019-024.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Do we have any new business? Seeing none. We have no closed session. Do we have any oral staff reports? Seeing none. Any oral authority reports? We will now adjourn to the next regular Public Housing Authority meeting to be held on Tuesday, October 22nd, 2019 at 5:30 p.m. Thank you. The time is now 5:54, and I hereby call to order the successor agency to the RDA meeting of Tuesday, September 24th, 2019, to order. Madam City Clerk, if you could please call the roll.
Thank you. Director Trimble,
Here.
Director Roa,
Here.
Vice Chair Member Alvarado,
Here.
Chair Member Manavilla.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. So at this time, we will allow for general public comment for the successor agency to the RDA meeting. Do we have any general public comment at this time? Seeing none. We don't have, do we have anything that would like to be moved out of order? Okay, seeing none. We have 2 items on the consent calendar. Do we have any public comment on the consent calendar? Any items that need to be pulled for separate discussion? Can I get a motion and a second to approve the consent calendar?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent calendar.
I'll second that.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. We do not have any discussion items. Any new business? Seeing none, no closed session. Do we have any oral staff reports? No. Do we have any oral agency reports? Seeing none, we will now adjourn to the next regular successor agency to the RDA meeting to be held on Tuesday, October 8th at 5:45 p.m. Hello, the time is now 6:04, and I hereby call to order the regular City Council meeting of September 24th, 2019. Madam City Clerk, if you could please lead us into the invocation and the flag salute.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Please bow your heads. Dear Heavenly Father God, we thank you for all the gifts and for bringing us together today. Thank you for always watching over each and every one of us and our families and those who we love. We ask for a special prayer on those who are not feeling so well and who are sick and in the hospital. We just ask you to touch and heal each and every one of them, Lord. We ask you to guide the council in the business of the city today and continue to be with the City of Hawaiian Gardens. In your precious name we pray. Amen. Then face the flag. Place your right hand over your heart. Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Madam City Clerk, if you could please call the roll.
Councilmember Trimble,
Here.
Councilmember Roa,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Alvarado,
Here.
and Mayor Maravilla.
Here.
Madam Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you very much. So this evening we have a presentation of certificate of appreciation for our 5-star Express car wash. Is somebody here from our local business to receive it? Okay. Seeing nobody, we'll come back to that item at a later time. Next, we have a presentation and update by the Hawaiian Gardens librarian, Carolyn Reed, who recently got married. Congratulations again.
Yeah, now I'm an old married lady instead of just an old lady. Good afternoon, evening, Honorable was green. Let's try again. Good afternoon, Mayor Maravilla and City Council, City staff, and residents. It is I, your congenial librarian, here to tell you about what's up at the library. First off, September is Get Your Library Card Month. Louis Roa has a library card that's in good standing. Maybe some other council members would love to visit us and do the same.
He paid off his fines already?
Oh, he's in good standing. And we were happy to see him. We'd be happy to see anybody else come in and get their library card. So the big things on board are that we are still running our Smarty Pants story time, and that will be Friday at 10:30 to 11 for ages 2 to 4 and their caregivers. And on Saturday, we're going to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month by making a yarn painting. And this is a painting style that originally used beeswax and other things and probably straw, not unlike some of the Mexican styles of one aspect. But we're going to use yarn and glue and make some really groovy designs. I tried it out. If I can do it, anybody can do it. So I would love to see you there Saturday from 3 to 4. It's for adults, but if you bring your kid, that would be okay. I could enjoy that a whole lot. We are starting our month-long parent-child workshops on Wednesday, October 2nd. These are running in the evening this round, and what we have is playstations for the children and parents to interact. It's for ages 1 to 3 and their caregivers. And then we bring in a community specialist who can help give parents information about child rearing. So we really hope you can join us for that. And those are all the Wednesdays in October from 6 to 7:15. Now, Francis Rodriguez can attest to the fact that we have really fun STEM stuff for adults. And on Saturday, October 5th, we're going to craft with electronics. And we're going to make something, a bookmark that doubles as a reading lamp. So we really hope you join us, and that is Saturday, October 5th from 2 to 4. I'm looking forward to that. Who couldn't use a bookmark that's also a reading lamp? On Saturday, October 12th, we're going to have a sushi demonstration. There will be nibbles for people who come and participate in the whole program. So we hope you can join us on Saturday, October 12th from 2 to 3. That is an adult program. Then there's a teen program on Tuesday, October 15th. And that is the Makerspace program, and we're going to be playing with Ozobots. Those are the little robots that you program to do different things using color coding. So I hope you can join us for that. That's 6 to 7 on Tuesday, October 15th. And then I ask you to save the date, Saturday, October 26th, when we have our annual family holiday event celebrating Halloween and Dias de los Muertos, and we'll be exploring both traditions and kind of making crafts that support that. And we'll be learning about those. And the Friends of the Library are going to have cookie decorating. So time to get your fun on Saturday, October 26th, and that's in the afternoon from 2 to 4. And other than that, we would love to see you at the library. We're ready to rock anytime you are. Get your card today. Talk to you soon.
Thank you. Do we have any questions? No? Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Next, we have a presentation by Fred Licon, Senior Community Relations Officer and the U.S. Census Bureau relating to Census 2020.
Honorable Mayor, members of the City Council, tonight we have the United States Census Bureau here to give a presentation in English and Spanish to our residents here. So with no further delay, I'd like to introduce Justin Chen here to the podium.
Hi, my name is Justine, and I am a partnership specialist with the U.S. Census Bureau. And I'm here to talk to you about the census. Oh, okay. Am I allowed to use that mic up there so I can see my slides, or do I have to stay here?
Well, I'm sorry, what was your question?
Sorry, can I use that mic, or do I need to stay here?
You can use that mic.
Okay. I can't. Or, well, I guess I could see this screen, but...
No, he'll take that off.
Okay.
Yeah. But if you want to speak from the mic, that's different. If you want to speak from the mic, you could do that. Oh, it's not part.
Oh, so this doesn't work then? Oh, okay. Hello? Okay. So as I was saying, my name is Justine. I'm a partnership specialist with the U.S. Census Bureau and the LA Regional Census Center. And I would like to tell you more about the census, why it's important, and some of the changes that we're implementing for the next census in 2020. So the first reason why we do the census, next slide, is that it is mandated by the Constitution. The first census was done in 1790, and we've done one every 10 years since then. So with the census, our goal is to count everybody residing in the United States, regardless of citizenship, once and only once, and in the right place. And our census day is April 1st every 10 years. That's our reference point, so wherever you are living on that day, that's where we're going to count you. Next slide. So one of the other reasons why the census is important is because it's about fair representation. Once all of the census data is collected, we know where people are and how many people are in each census tract, in each state, in each congressional district, and that determines how many people we get in the House of Representatives. Next slide. For example, in the state of California, we have the most number of representatives in the House with 53. And you can see off of this map, which is from 2010, it's using 2010 census data. You can see the states that have gained and lost seats since then. So historically, California has never lost a seat. It's only gained a seat or stayed the same. But we are actually living in the hardest to count county in the entire United States. So LA County is the hardest to count. And that's due to our diversity and how big we are, as well as all the different types of populations we have, such as the homeless. So it's really important that we count everybody and that everybody fills out the census completely. Next slide. Because we have federal funding that is at stake with $675 billion that will be apportioned according to census data. And these funds go toward funding really important programs in our community, such as SNAP, WIC, free breakfast and lunch programs, health clinics, infrastructure, roads, as well as emergency and disaster funding. Next slide. After all of the census data is collected by the federal government, it is then used by local governments for redistricting purposes. And so they redraw the boundaries of congressional and state legislative districts. Next slide. So we try to focus on hard to count populations. As you can see from this list, LA County includes pretty much everybody on this list. Next slide. So one example that I like to use is from 2010. The city of San Jose undercounted about 70,000 residents, and that cost the city about $20 million per year. If you multiply that by 10 years, please go back. If you multiply that by 10 years, that's $200 million. So you can kind of see how much of an impact your census response is. Next slide. So the biggest change to the census is that we are doing it online for the first time. So you'll be able to respond from a computer, from a smart device, starting in March, going through July. We still also make the phone and paper options available. The internet and phone options will be in English as well as 12 other foreign languages. Next slide. And those 12 languages are listed up there with the second bullet. And we also have language glossaries available in 59 other non-English languages. Next slide. So I'd like to emphasize that the data that we collect through the census is kept confidential according to U.S. Code Title 13. All of the data that is reported in statistical format only, and we don't share any of your personal information with other government agencies at any level of the government. All census employees swear a lifetime oath to protect this information. So, for example, if I end up leaving the census, I am still sworn to protect that information. And penalties for wrongful disclosure include up to 5 years in prison and or a fine of $250,000. Next slide. So this is the timeline that we're looking at. Starting in January 2020, we start counting those in rural and remote communities, such as in Alaska. And then starting in March, we will be sending out postcards to 95% of households to ask you to respond online. It'll have the website for you to go to. And then throughout March and April, we will be sending out multiple reminders. With the very last reminder letter, it will come with a paper form if that's what you choose to do. And as I said, the phone option is also available. And then if you don't use those 3 options to respond, we then will follow up with a person that makes a house call. So we send people door to door in May and June to follow up with people who have not yet responded. Next slide. So on the census website, we have a map that you can look at that will show you low response scores by census tract. If you go to, the next slide. If you go to census.gov/Rome, you will find a search box where you can type in your zip code, your city, or your state, and it'll zoom into that area, and you can click on the census tract and be able to see the demographic breakdown as well as the low response score. Next slide. We're also hiring right now for jobs. So if you're interested in finding a job, or if you know people who are interested in finding a job, please go to 2020census.gov/jobs. Next slide. It's an online application only, and there are part-time as well as full-time jobs. You just need to be a U.S. citizen, pass a background check, and that's about it. We have a preference for U.S. veterans, and if you're interested in a management position, we have those as well. So these are some local partnership strategies that we try to use in order to reach the hard-to-count communities wherever they are. So for example, I met with Fred, and this is the partnership that we built for me to come here and speak to all of you on record and to the City Council, of course. Next slide. I just covered that. I think that's pretty much it. That's all I have. And Fred is going to do the the Spanish portion.
Thank you. Not me, it would be this gentleman, this Fred.
Buenas noches, me llamo Fred Mariscal, al igual que Justin, trabajamos con el censo y nuestra labor es hacer ir a platicar con las organizaciones y las ciudades. Oh, sorry, ¿me escuchan? Perdón. Me llamo Fred Mariscal, trabajo para el censo de los Estados Unidos, al igual que Justin. Y pues nuestra labor es ir a educar a las comunidades del condado de Los Ángeles acerca de la importancia del censo. Nuestra labor es contar a todos una vez, solamente una vez, en el lugar adecuado. Siguiente. ¿Por qué se realiza el censo? El censo se realiza cada 10 años. Esto es por mandato constitucional. Se viene haciendo a cabo desde el año 1790 y lo venimos haciendo a cabo cada 10 años. Esto es muy importante que lo hagamos cada 10 años, contar a todos, sin importar el estado migratorio o de donde sean. Lo importante es contar a todos cada 10 años. ¿Por qué es importante? El censo es muy, muy importante, básicamente por 2 razones. Por la representación en el Congreso. Como ustedes saben, hay 435 escaños en el Congreso que se tienen que repartir dependiendo de la población que hay en el país. Entonces, dependiendo de la información del censo, se redistribuyen estos escaños en el del Congreso. Y también, al igual, tan importante es la distribución de al menos $675,000 millones anuales que el gobierno federal distribuye a los estados. Esto es muy importante porque este dinero que va a nuestras comunidades, esto va para ayudar a las comunidades, por ejemplo, que tienen las escuelas, para ayudar a los niños a los lunches que tienen en las escuelas, es gratis. Esto también va mucho para la aseguranza aquí en California, que es medical. Va también para ayudar a a las organizaciones sin fines de lucro a recaudar fondos. Y también, muy importante, como sabemos aquí en California hay muchos desastres. Entonces también el censo es importante porque estos fondos ayudan a crear más hospitales, a hacer más escuelas, a hacer oficinas de bomberos. Entonces esa es parte del dinero que se distribuye, y California, como es uno de los estados o el estado más grande en términos de población, pues recibe mucho dinero de parte del gobierno cada año. Siguiente. Como pueden ver aquí, el estado de California, estos son resultados oficiales del año 2010. California en el año 2010 no ganó ni perdió escaños, pero por ejemplo el estado de Texas ganó 4 en el estado, en el censo del 2010. Entonces, como les decía, es muy importante el resultado porque de eso depende de esos escaños, ¿no? California no en el 2010 ni ganó ni perdió. Y pues ahora dependiendo de lo que pase con los resultados del 2020, estos escaños se van a distribuir nuevamente. Siguiente. Ok, el censo es otra cosa que en nuestras comunidades hay un miedo, puede haber un miedo a veces a no llenar estas formas, pero es completamente confidencial. Nosotros como empleados del censo tomamos un juramento de no divulgar ningún tipo de información. Cuando ustedes llenan esta información es confidencial, nosotros no podemos divulgar nada. Nosotros nos podemos ir a la cárcel por 5 años o nos pueden dar una multa de hasta $250,000. En realidad nosotros no tenemos acceso a esa información, pero el censo toma la seguridad tan importante que nos hace a nosotros como empleados del censo tomar este juramento. También se va a hacer, esta va a ser la primera vez que se va a poder hacer el censo por el Internet. Entonces, eso también tenemos la seguridad en el área del Internet, pues la tomamos muy en serio. La siguiente. Como les decía, el censo 2020 va a ser más fácil que nunca. Va a ser la primera vez que se va a poder hacer, usted va a poder llenar el censo por Internet. A partir del 12 de marzo, le van a mandar una tarjeta postal. Y con esa tarjeta postal en su hogar, usted va a poder llenar el censo en español o inglés o en 11 otras lenguas aparte de inglés y español, o también lo puede hacer por teléfono, a un teléfono sin costo, en inglés y en español y en otras 11 lenguajes, o también pueden pedir la forma física por papel. Siguiente. A las fechas, no sé por qué se me bajó eso, pero básicamente, ok, gracias. Como les decía, a partir del 12 de marzo les vamos a mandar una tarjeta postal en la cual se va a poder usted llenar el censo, y les vamos a dar como hasta fines de abril para llenar la forma. Si ustedes durante todo ese tiempo no llenan la forma, les vamos a mandar otra tarjetita, le vamos a mandar una carta, los vamos a estar molestando poco a poco para que ojalá a final de abril llenen la forma. Si uno no llena la forma, pues lo que eso va a hacer es que una persona, un trabajador del censo en el verano, le vaya a tocar la puerta para, ahora sí que alentarlos y ayudarlos a que hagan la forma del censo, a que la llenen. Siguiente. Como les decía, hay diferentes formas para responder. Esas 3 pueden ser usted puede ser por el Internet, puede ser por su computadora, por su teléfono o por también tienen iPad. Lo pueden hacer también, como les decía, por teléfono, y también lo pueden hacer, pedir la forma física para llenarla también, y eso es también sin costo alguno para usted. La siguiente. En los idiomas, como les decía, el español va a estar disponible la forma del censo en el Internet y por teléfono también, y en la forma física. Pero también vamos a tener otros, aparte del inglés y el español, otros 11 idiomas en los cuales, como California y aquí el condado es tan diverso, pues tenemos muchas poblaciones que hablan otros idiomas como el ruso, el coreano, el vietnamís, el japonés, el criol, el francés, y además de eso va a haber un glosario en 59 otros idiomas distintos, como por ejemplo el maya. hay, no sé si ustedes lo saben, pero aquí en el condado de Los Ángeles hay una comunidad maya bastante grande, y a través de estos glosarios de idiomas, la comunidad maya en Los Ángeles va a poder llenar el censo. Siguiente. También hay poblaciones difíciles de contar. El condado de Los Ángeles es el condado más difícil de contar en todo el país por la gran diversidad que hay en este condado. Pero hay poblaciones difíciles de contar como son los inmigrantes, las personas que no hablan muy bien inglés, las gentes de la comunidad LGBT, refugiados, veteranos, niños menores de 5 años. Esto es importante remarcar porque en el año 2010 aproximadamente entre 5 y 6 millones de niños no fueron contados por sus padres. Entonces, este año, este censo estamos haciendo un esfuerzo más fuerte para asegurarnos de que todos los niños, porque como les decía, muchos de los fondos que el gobierno da a los estados va para los niños. Entonces, vamos a hacer un esfuerzo fuerte esta vez para hacer que los padres de familia cuenten a sus niños. Siguiente. Esta es la baja respuesta en áreas de la nación. Como ven, entre más oscuro está, estas son las áreas que son más difíciles de contar. Como ven ahí por el estado de Arizona, en New México. Y si nos vamos a la siguiente, aquí es en el área de Los Ángeles. Como ven, está muy oscuro. Y como ven, por el centro de Los Ángeles son las áreas pues que hay un promedio de entre 25 y 35% de residentes que no se hicieron contar en el año 2010. Entonces, y como ven, pues es muchísimo dinero. Si imaginen, estamos aquí, somos como, ¿qué será? De 20 a 50 personas. Cada uno de nosotros vale más o menos aproximadamente $2,000. Entonces, imagínense, si no nos hacemos contar, multipliquen esa cantidad por 10. Entonces, es muchísimo dinero que está de por medio y que pues el Estado podría dejar de tener si no nos hacemos contar. Entonces, estamos haciendo un esfuerzo muy, muy grande, estamos haciendo estas pláticas y estamos ahora sí que haciendo todo lo posible para asegurarnos de que cuando la gente le llegue la tarjetita en marzo, y obviamente el 1 de abril, que es el día en el que los vamos a invitar a todos a que hagan una respuesta al censo, lo van a ver en la televisión, en la radio, pero les vamos a dar, como les decía, un mes más o menos para que llenen la formita, y como para que vean, esto es lo importante que es para nosotros, ahora sí que asegurarnos de que todos en el área y en la región de Los Ángeles accedan al censo y lo respondan dentro de esas fechas. Siguiente. Estamos también, por ejemplo, hay comités de conteos completos. Estos comités se están haciendo, por ejemplo, aquí, la ciudad de Hawaiian Gardens. Ustedes tienen un comité de conteo completo, y estos comités se están haciendo a través de todas las ciudades en el condado de Los Ángeles, y lo que estamos haciendo aquí es, ahora sí que ayudarles a darles todo el apoyo de parte del censo, la oficina del censo, para que ustedes se pongan de acuerdo y por así que vean todas las barreras que en este caso la ciudad de Hawaiian Gardens pueda tener, para que la gente, pues ahora sí que tirar esas barreras y hacer que pues todos no tengan miedo, porque realmente no hay que tener miedo. Nosotros, el censo no comparte ninguna de esta información, no lo compartimos con ninguna agencia del gobierno, es completamente confidencial. El presidente de los Estados Unidos va a recibir los resultados, estadísticas, el 31 de diciembre de este mismo año, y lo único que va a haber va a ser estadísticas, sino, como les decía, nunca nos vamos a cansar de hacer ese énfasis de que no compartimos esta información con ninguna agencia del gobierno, y todos los que vivimos en el país, independientemente de donde vengamos, seamos ciudadanos o inmigrantes o lo que sea, todos los que vivimos en este país tenemos ahora sí que la obligación de llenar el censo por esas dos razones muy, muy importantes. Entonces, sí les animo que vayan con sus comunidades y con sus familias a que pues a quitar este miedo que no tiene sentido. Y estamos, como decíamos, esos son los comités de conteo completo que están haciendo todas las ciudades, y como les decía, estos comités tienen el fin de, ahora sí, de juntarse y ver cuáles son los problemas y las causas por las cuales la gente no puede llegar ahora sí que a responder al censo, y esperamos que a través de estos comités, pues ahora sí que la mayoría de la gente responda al censo. Estas son como las estrategias de asociaciones locales, lo que estamos haciendo para que la gente responda al censo en el año 2020, los medios de comunicación. Estamos haciendo también campañas en los organismos sociales, como el Twitter, el Facebook, todas esas donde la gente pueda ahora sí que tener el acceso. Y también vamos a tener mesas de respuestas móvil, en la cual usted va a poder llegar ahí y llenar la forma del censo si usted no tiene acceso al internet también. Pasos a seguir, es generar ayuda para la preparación de las comunidades para el censo 2020, trabajar para movilizar a su comunidad y asegurarse de que tengan toda la información, estén bien educadas y tengan toda la información para que puedan responder al censo. La siguiente. El tiempo, ahorita estamos en la fase de educación 2018-2019, ahorita ya empezamos con la fase de concentración en abril, la fase de motivación va a ser de marzo a mayo del 2020, y la fase recordatorio va a ser de mayo al julio del 2020, y vamos a hacer también una fase de agradecimiento que se va a iniciar a partir del mes de julio de 2020. También estamos reclutando, ahora sí que esto de hacer del censo cada 10 años es muy arduo, es muy difícil, entonces estamos contratando mucha gente, y ahorita ya estamos ahora sí que en el otoño del 2019 se está dando al personal estamos dando seguimiento en áreas de baja respuesta, en el sentido de que nosotros tenemos nuestros mapas. El 65% de la información que tenemos ya la sacamos vía satélite, pero como ustedes saben, el condado de Los Ángeles ha cambiado mucho desde 2010 ahora, entonces ahorita estamos contratando mucha gente para que vaya a estas comunidades y confirme que lo que nosotros tenemos en nuestros mapas está actualmente en las calles. Entonces, estamos contratando para eso, y luego también vamos a hacer nuestro propio conteo de las personas sin hogar en marzo por 3 días, y luego el gran empuje va a ser el próximo verano, en el cual vamos a contratar a muchísima gente para que vaya a tocar las puertas para aquellos hogares y personas que no hayan podido o no hayan querido responder al censo, y ahora sí que alentarlas a que respondan al censo. La siguiente. Entonces, como les estamos contratando, nosotros los invitamos a ustedes, y ahora sí que entre más personas aplican a estas posiciones, pues va a ser más fácil, porque nosotros queremos que ustedes se queden en esta comunidad, y ustedes que conocen a su vecindario, conocen a sus vecinos, entonces hay que ir a la página que se llama 2020census.gov, /jobs, G-O-B-S, o también pueden llamar al 1-855-JOB-2020 para aplicar estas posiciones. La información, básicamente, lo único que se necesita para que ustedes trabajen con nosotros es tener 18 años, ser ciudadanos del país, y pasar una verificación de antecedentes penales. Hacemos preferencia a aquellos que son veteranos. Y también hay otras posiciones que son más de tiempo completo, pero esta es una gran oportunidad para que ustedes puedan ayudar a su comunidad, y pues ahora sí que de tiempo compartido y pues hacer un poco también de dinero también. Este es mi contacto, mi Fred Mariscal, ese es mi correo electrónico, federico.lmariscal@2020census.gov. Ese es mi teléfono, yo con mucho gusto, cualquier duda, cuestión, o nosotros también vamos con organizaciones comunitarias a dar estas pláticas, y más en concreto nos metemos más en explicar y en educar a nuestra población acerca de la importancia del censo. Y sin más preguntas, si tienen alguna pregunta, estaría yo con un placer de contestar en inglés o en español. any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them, either in English or Spanish.
I have a question.
Sure.
For these jobs, is it only for English-only speakers, or do you hire people that speak Spanish only or Korean only?
Great question. No, we do want everybody that you need to speak English. The answer to that, obviously, we want people who are bilingual in those other languages, but you need to have a good command of the English language. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions?
No, it's a great presentation.
Okay.
So
yep.
thank you very much. I think it'll go out on our view and people will feel comfortable with it because it's nothing threatening.
I know, yeah, it is.
It's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's a good presentation.
Yeah, and I think we have to stress that there's really no reason why to be afraid of to answering the census. I guess it's hard sometimes to people say, why do we need to do this? And we're only going to be asking 9 questions, very simple questions. Solamente vamos a hacer 9 preguntas muy fáciles. Entonces, les va a tomar 10 minutos en responder y a ustedes, a su familia. Entonces, de veras que we encourage you, we invite you to respond to the census. Y pues cualquier duda, estamos aquí hasta el final para apoyarlos y to help you in any way we can. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Madam
you.
Mayor. Madam Mayor, so I just want to publicly thank the representatives from the U.S. Census for showing up today. They're in high demand right now, as you would imagine. Part of the struggle that we will deal with in every community, really, in particular minority communities, is the concept or the idea that there is some kind of consequential threat responding to these. So over the next several months, we're going to be doing a variety of things to try to educate the public, one of which is really try to help the U.S. Census in attracting residents of the city to be workers, because if you have our own residents out there knocking on doors, people are more likely to participate. And as was said, we're losing money if it's not counted correctly. And so because of that, you've authorized us, city, to take additional steps for public education. And Mr. Ligon is coordinating a city team to make sure that we really apply all the best practices of our surrounding communities and try to come up with what's best for this community so that everybody's educated. And when this rolls out, we're prepared. And so I want to thank the U.S. Census folks again. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you. And I also do want to encourage all the residents that are here. A lot of you, it may be your first meeting, or you may be very well-versed in the community, and just be very present, not only here at the council meetings, but out. And we just ask that you please relay this information to your friends, your neighbors, the VFW, anywhere that you go. Please let everyone know, have you filled out the census when the time comes, and make sure that you're a trusted messenger. And so we really encourage that. Para toda la gente que está aquí, que escuchó la presentación del censo, por favor también díganle saber a todas sus familias, a sus amistades del censo que el año que entra, empezando en abril, que se va a hacer. Es muy importante para los recursos de finanzas del Estado y para los recursos de la ciudad. Entonces, por favor, les pido de favor que por favor dejen saber a la comunidad de esta información. Okay. Thank you. All right, so moving on with at this time, we will now have a City of Hawaiian Gardens video presentation of city events. Our annual 2019 State of the City Breakfast is our opportunity to showcase the progress that we have made towards bettering our services for the residents of Hawaiian Gardens and our city as a whole. Our team of dedicated police officers, our fire department, AFSCME employees, managers, educational institutions, the City Council, and all the contractors that work beside us to improve the future of Hawaiian Gardens, thank you so much for being here and for helping Hawaiian Gardens reach the next level of success. Thank you. As some of you may know, this year's theme is I Am Hawaiian Gardens. And I know that each and every person in this room is Hawaiian Gardens in some way. And if you're not, you will be by the end of the program.
If you would, I am Hawaiian Gardens, by the way. Bow your heads. Father, today we reverence and honor you. You are our God, and we submit our loyalty and adoration to you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light?
Earlier this year, in February, because the City of Hawaiian Gardens joined Clean Power Alliance, a transition took place in your community where your energy supply is actually now being provided to through Clean Power Alliance. Your electricity supply is now at the default of 50% renewable energy, so it's a little bit greener, at no additional cost than what you would pay to Southern California Edison.
We are so fortunate to have underground aquifers below us that provide 50% of the water that we need in our homes. And that's why you have clean, clear, drinkable water here in the city of Hawaiian Gardens, a city I love.
Our students are excelling, and the superintendent will cover more specifically. But I can tell you that at Hawaiian Elementary School, during their 6th grade promotion, I asked all the parents in the room, raise your hand if you're better off now, your students are better off now. The school is better now than it was 5 years ago. Every single hand went up. And that has nothing to do with how great we are individually, but how we work together and collaborate. Which is why I want to say, all of us want to say, thank you to the City of Hawaiian Gardens.
I am proud to lead an amazing group of deputies who are proud to partner with and serve the City of Hawaiian Gardens. Our goal each day is to be a strong presence in the community, protect the community to the best of our ability, and to be an active part of the city of Hawaiian Gardens.
I attend a lot of community events. I can tell you that I get a lot of positive feedback. I got a lot of people complimenting me, giving me a lot of credit for it. I don't want to be rude, so I take it, but I want you to know and everybody to know that really it's the leadership of the City Council that makes this happen, and it's the city staff that really has boots on the ground, that they say, to make sure that all the programs and services that we budget for are carried out in an efficient manner. I would like to thank all of you for making the time to be here this morning. And I'd like to again thank our speakers. I'd like the City Council to come up and join me. We are Hawaiian Gardens.
I want to thank Bashir and all of our city staff for a really great event. And Bashir actually created this really amazing video, which I was trying to find on our YouTube channel. I don't know if it's up yet, but it's exceptional. He interviewed all of the different departments, and it really showcased what our city staff do on a day-to-day basis to help us execute the mission of not only the City Council, but to help every single resident, whether it's keeping our city's streets clean, or trimming our trees, whatever it may be, the different services that we offer, recreation, swimming, here at the front counter at City Hall. We offer an array of different services. And so I just want to take this opportunity to thank our staff for giving us so much to brag about at this state of the city. We're really moving our city forward, and I'm very appreciative of everyone's hard work and effort and all of our community partners. I see Dandy in the audience. I see Diana Morales, the Eagles. We have so many different partners that help us every single day, and we couldn't do what we do to move our city forward without each and every one of you. So I do want to thank all of you for your help and in moving the city forward in a positive way. So thank you all. So with that, I will go ahead and move to agenda organization. And I would like to add an item that recently came up. It's time sensitive, and it came to our attention after the agenda was posted. This is a new agenda item, a consideration to partner and commit with the Veteran of Foreign Wars, VFW, to host the Wall That Heals for the 2020 National Tour, also known as the Vietnam Traveling Wall. So we would need a motion and a second and a vote to add this onto the agenda.
I'll make the motion to add this Veterans Wall to the agenda.
I'll second that.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Thank you. Motion carries unanimously, and we'll discuss it, item C4. Okay, so next we have general public comment. Do we have any public comment at this time?
Good evening, Jan Lapointe, 120-22 26th. Just wanted to thank Monica for her service before she resigns there. It's sorry to see her go. And I would hope that the city council would consider going back to the votes and find out who was next in line as far as the vote, who got the next most votes, and bring that person into the city council. We do need a vote as soon as possible, an election as soon as possible, to get an appropriate replacement. Regarding the funding for giving money to help repair homes where someone is a landlord and owns several properties and they're renting to low income. In case you don't realize, in most cases, those landlords are making market rent, because when you're on Section 8 and that, they require market rent. So those landlords have a lot more money than most of us to make repairs to our homes. So the money would better be spent being directed to homeowners who live in their properties. And the rent control issues that are coming up. Yes, you will see a lot of people's rents being raised. Reason being that when an old tenant moves out and a new one moves in, you won't be able to just raise the rent at that time. If you haven't taken the interim raises, there's still going to be a cap on how high you can raise your rent, is the way I understand it. So the people that are renting now will start seeing rent increases. I had a friend whose rent hadn't gone up in 10 years. Landlord was happy with them. But now, if the landlord doesn't raise the rent on a regular basis, they start losing out. They lose their income stream. So that's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Reynaldo Rodriguez, 214021. Good evening. Tonight, we will see how can a mayor who has all the education but no common sense, she can manipulate this council any way she wants to for greed and power. She has all the support from her special friends, selected friends, who she gave new positions and extremely high salaries. These employees that were given these high salaries never had any loyalty to the city of Hawaiian Gardens. They sold themselves to you. Also, the community relations officer who abuses our employees by saying that, hey, the city manager gave me the green light, I can do as I please. And also people have heard to tell the city council, hey, I elected you guys and I can get you out. And this is a true statement because I know. So tonight we have nominations for a replacement for Monica. So I'd like to advise the new city council to think about who he's in favor of, or what should we have a new election, or should we wait until the next election or whatever? Because the same people, which is the mayor pro tem, the mayor, the special communications officer, they all have who they want, who they can manipulate, and that's what's going to happen here. So consider that when you vote, because this is going to make you, if you make the wrong vote, you're going to be part of the worst corrupted government the city of Hawaiian Gardens that has ever had. So my time is running out, so that's enough for tonight. Thank you.
Andres Roman, 22023 Juan Avenue. I'd like to take this time. I've come a few times to the city council meetings. I've been here to city council meetings a few times, and just off the charts. Sometimes it seems like it's you hear residents complaining about the same old issues. It sounds like a broken record sometimes when I come in here. We're about striving and being a community together and moving forward. I've seen nothing but great changes in this community. It's about our youth, our future. That's what the slogan's always been. And I'd like to thank each and every one of you guys up there. I really appreciate where the city's going. And I understand that, sometimes people won't be happy, but I really appreciate everything you guys have done. Genuinely, the city is coming together. You see huge improvements. The community's coming together. Kids are coming together. I grew up here 20 plus years. I could say now, it's a better city. It's a better city than what it was 10 years ago. A minute 50, minute 45, whatever I've left. It's not enough time to elaborate detail for detail. What great job you guys have all done, and that's it.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council members. I'm here tonight. My name is Sal Flores, 21919 Nora Boulevard, Food Bank. I'm here to update you on our wonderful trash service we have here in Hawaiian Gardens. As you know, in June, we got a trash can for organic. It's been picked up twice. The last time they picked it up, I think, was in August 28th, which is about a month away. But still, their charge is $110 a month for trash pickup. I called them last Monday. A young lady answered, a lady answered. I told her our problem at the bingo with all the spill of the lard and everything, they spill all the trash. How they messed up all our handicap area with the spots. And she said, well, I can't do anything about it. I said, well, let me talk to who's in charge. So they put me on hold for about a minute. Then she said, I'm going to transfer you, and they transferred me to a recording. I left my message. I left my number. As of today, they haven't called me yet. And my phone's on 24 hours a day. And then I watched the council meeting a little later after the last week I was here, 2 weeks ago. And one of the council people called me a liar. And I don't appreciate that very much at all. And then he has a gall to question Ernie on checking the background on the people he hires. Who hired this trash company? They were rated the worst out of the three. And then he hires some other companies with his past 3 votes he had. He hired some other companies in planning. They were investigated by the FBI. So, he should watch who he's throwing dirt at. And he's a preacher. Thank you very much.
Joe Cabrera Zermeño, 21920 to 1926 Sane, Hawaiian Gardens. More than 20 years a resident, since 1953. I'm also a member of the ABC Unified School District Measure BB Citizens Oversight Committee. Only 7 people are on that board. What I'd like to first say is to the electorate and to the public and to this council. Voting is going to be revolutionized. For all those senior citizens at home and regular voters that, 445 votes put Maravilla up there on that chair back in 2016. To the voters, when you voted back then, you'd go to various places in the city of Hawaiian Gardens that have been in existence forever. That is no longer the case. September 28th and 29th, this weekend, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., please come here to the patio area and learn the new system that all throughout the internet has been going city to city to city to explain the new system. So please come this weekend here. It's been everywhere. Come this weekend here, the 28th and 29th, 10 to 4 p.m., because you're going to have to teach your moms and your grandmothers and the other seniors and the people that are just doing this for the first time. It's a whole new world out there, people. Come join the group. Our vote is the most precious thing that we have as American citizens. Only an American citizen can register to vote. A naturalized citizen is an American citizen. They can vote. They can register to vote. No one else. Anyone up there on that board and in this audience who are suggesting to residents, maybe long time, who are registered and are not U.S. citizens, they face a possibility of deportation. If they go to get naturalized, they have to provide proof from the registrar recorder they are not registered to vote. So, alert.
Hi, my name is Luis Polanco. I live on 22220 Horse Avenue. I'm a longtime resident, been here all my life. First of all, I'd like to start with thanking the city council, the mayor, city manager, for all their hard work. I'd like to thank them for their countless hours to make this city better and move it in the right direction. I commend them for doing a great job and such a thankless job. Thank you. And while I'm talking about moving the city forward, I'm up here today because I want to say that I'm for keeping the JPA. I know it's a group that we've had for over 2 decades now that nobody's ever questioned before. They are our voice in Sacramento that keeps the casino, our lifeblood here. And anything that would threaten that just makes no sense to me. In order to protect the $15 million we get in revenue, it just seems like if you do the math, people question that, oh, it costs too much to keep them 50, 60, 70,000 a year. Well, if you do the math and you take that 70,000 from that 15 million revenue, that's less than 1% of that revenue being used in order to protect it. So with that, I just leave you guys and hopefully you make the right choice. Thank you very much, Council.
Good evening. My name is Alba Bach, and I live on Juan Avenue in Hawaiian Gardens. I would like to say thank you for proposing the banning of the vaping sales within our city limits. I believe we have a duty to protect the most vulnerable, who are our children in our community. Thank you. I'm here to voice my opposition to the transaction and use tax, also known as sales tax, that you want to impose on our hardworking residents. This method of revenue enhancement only hurts our community, our residents and businesses. I say no on the sales tax. Second, I can't believe the audacity to want to have the Hawaiian Gardens Carnival at Ferry Middle School after the awful fight that took place last year. The residents' safety comes before your personal interest. Third, the Alternatives to Gangs program for our youth is charging the high school students $60 if they're residents, if they want to join rugby. Charging our kids fees for a service that will keep them out of gangs. Do you understand that most of them don't have a job? This is absurd. Finally, I oppose the irresponsible spending of our taxpayers' money and then turning around and increasing fees, proposing taxes and parking permits to our residents. The financial challenges that you keep mentioning can be fixed if you stop the negligent spending. I also say no on JPA. It's a wasteful spending.
Okay, seeing no other comments, next we'll move over. Oh, sorry.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and council members. My name is Keith Sharp. I am the General Counsel for Hawaiian Gardens Casino. I'm here today to speak to you briefly about the JPA. The JPA has been in existence for about 18 years now, and I've been involved with it. I've been in the industry for 35 years, and I've been involved with the JPA firsthand, both here locally and in Sacramento on a regular basis. And I can tell you that from my perspective and from the perspective of the casino, the JPA has served a very valuable position within the gaming industry and among legislators in Sacramento and elsewhere. The JPA has been at the forefront, for example, of opposing the tribal recognition for certain groups that are trying to establish tribal recognition and a casino presence in the greater Los Angeles area. The JPA, again, was instrumental in assisting in and being the actually spearhead of opposing the Juaninos. We have another group, the Fernandinos, who are now coming forward in Washington, D.C., seeking recognition and trying to create an urban casino. The JPA has been instrumental in assisting us on extension of the moratorium, which protects the city of Hawaiian Gardens from competition from any new casinos that might come forward. And I can certainly say that there are strength in numbers. The JPA is recognized in Sacramento as a force, and I understand there has been some upheaval of late in the JPA, but you still have several very strong cities that are members of the JPA, and I think can continue the tradition of being a force in Sacramento and in Washington, D.C. as well. And as the gentleman said earlier, it's certainly the city's money, but when you look at I think the benefit of the JPA versus the cost of the JPA to the city, in my estimation, it's sort of a no-brainer in terms of the value that the JPA brings and will continue to bring. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good evening, Council. My name is Jesus Mendoza. I live at 22022 St. Avenue. I just wanted to ask our mayor and city council if you guys would consider, I wish it was at a better note, when you guys close today's council meeting, if you guys could do it in memory of Mr. Jose Soto. Obviously, I think a lot of you guys know who Roger is. And also, if you guys didn't know, Jesse Valadez, he also, Junior actually also passed away. And I think these individuals did a lot for Hawaiian Gardens. And I believe there was a lot of media that covered actually, especially Jesse's. Since, from the Gypsy Rose, he's the one that actually owned it. And hopefully you guys would consider that when you guys close it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, council members. My name is Mariana Rios. I'm a past council member. I had the privilege of serving this council, being elected by the wonderful residents of this community. And prior to Ms. Rodriguez resigning, it just came to mind as a resident how much I love this city and how much people in this community love this city as well. And that's why we have continued residents in this community, and her service should be acknowledged. As a council member, I know that this, you can go ahead. I know that this service that you're providing is all consuming. It takes part of your personal life, your time and commitment to the residents, and regardless of who your partners are in the council, you are there to serve every single resident of this community. It is a job that is is integrity, and I know as I spoke to the residents in the community when I was running for council, the question was, why would you even consider running with all these people talking so negatively about you? I believe particularly the mayor was saying quite a few things. And in my view, it's not the individuals that are up there, it's the role that you have as a council member to serve this wonderful community, the privilege and the honor that you have of sitting in those seats and having to manage this city and leading us forward. And I had the privilege to say so. I mean, to serve that role. I would love to, and I want to speak in the agenda later in terms of your possibility of what you're going to do in the future. And that's because I did run, and I do believe that many things were done that were unfair and that the election was not fair. I would like to take a moment to acknowledge Miss Canada, because when I was elected, I took the respect to her in not showing up to any events before I was sworn in. And that's because I knew that having her serve so many years on this council, it was just shocking, I'm sure, to a certain extent, as I am shocked with Ms. Rodriguez's resignation, that she would no longer serve this community and do her best to be here. And it was a great honor in my career as a council member when she approached me at one of the events, or Native American event, saying that she was proud of my service. And I think that that speaks a lot of her. It speaks a lot of the service that I try to provide in this community. It's not in terms of serving myself and my needs, but in thinking of what was best for this community and in serving the residents of this wonderful city of Hawaiian Gardens. As a council member, I often talked how I grew up in the city and how I first experienced my first movie in that screen, Jungle Book, sitting in these chairs. I know maybe that ages me, but I have nothing but gratefulness for this city and moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving on with the agenda. Next we have
Hi, Lorraine Cabrera. I just want to react to City Manager Ernie Hernandez's statement last council meeting regarding the hiring of Omar Hernandez. Your words, Ernie, I feel comfortable with the hire I did of Omar Hernandez and that I would do it again. The idea of hiring a shady contractor, a ghostwriter, is quite alarming, and we, the residents of Hawaiian Gardens, are telling you, no, we don't want any shady contractors working for our city with the possibility, a great possibility, because they have a past, of ripping us off the residents. So think twice about who you hire for city projects. A simple Google 101 is simple enough. A true statement heard tonight. We're not going to please everyone. So live with it. We aren't going to be happy with everything we have. So live with it, because everything can be approved. This city not only comprises of youth, our city logo, but adults and a lot of us seniors. And I'm going to give credit to all our former city councils for moving the city forward. I mean, they got the city, the bingo club, the casino, and they got our city, all the city functions that we have, not this council. And I take it, we, the residents, will not be allowed to vote for the next council because one has resigned. So I'm wondering, are we electing, or are you yourselves putting in someone in for the council?
Okay, seeing no other public comment, right? No more? Nobody else? Okay. So next on the agenda is oral council reports. Do we have any oral council reports?
Well, Mr. Hernandez, I'm the preacher they're talking about. That's apparently lying. But I can't respond to the remarks. Can I tell you something I heard, though?
Of course.
Okay. Because the company's talking about, and the new organic waste can that he's talking about. He came in last meeting saying 2 guys got the truck and they don't know what the heck to do with it. They don't know. They put it on a pallet. They don't know what to do with it. What they did was this. They examined it because not only food's in there, but brick, trash, different debris. So it's dirty. They were going to red tag it. But they called the company. They said, bring it in. We'll sort it out. So that's what we got going with it. So here's the thing. He mentioned an increase. He got the increase because he gives them dirty trash, and it takes longer to separate it. So it's not his money, though. It's a company he works for's money, and they got plenty of it. So they allow this to happen, they'll get fined. That's the truth and nothing but the truth. I asked you if the company would come up and can talk, but apparently they don't want to because, why argue over something that's going to lead to nowhere? The truth will come out in the long run, So the company he works for will pay more for the dirty organics. That shouldn't be nowhere near handicap parking.
Do we have any other public comments? I'd like to make a public comment, and I'm sure my city clerk will cover this later, but since all of you are here, I just want to announce that today is National Voter Registration Day, and I know some of you that have social media may have seen it on social media. If you're not already registered to vote, you can register at registertovote.ca.gov. And so I just want to make sure everyone has that information, especially today. Make sure to text all your friends and family. And anyone who's 16 or 17 years old, they can pre-register to vote. And when they turn 18, they will automatically be registered. So anyone 16 and 17 that are citizens of the U.S. can pre-register to vote. So I want to make sure that all of you know about it so you guys can tell your friends and your family members. It's really exciting time. And I know the March 3rd, 2020 election will also have a lot of exciting contests to vote for. But I do want to let everyone know, like a comment was made, the voting solutions for all people, the new ballot marking devices will be here at our center on Saturday and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Only 50 locations in all of LA County were chosen. Keep in mind we have 88 cities in LA County. So the fact that our city was chosen as a vote center mock election site is very impressive, and I want to take this time to thank our city clerk for her efforts in connecting us with LA County because this is revolutionary. If you guys have not touched this machine, it looks like an iPad, and basically you'll be able to download your sample ballot booklet on an app. You'll be able to pre-select all of your choices. That will generate a QR code. You can take that QR code with you. You can print it out or bring it on your phone. Take it to the new ballot marking devices. You can scan it. It will generate and pre-populate all of your choices. You can still make changes to your choices. When you're done, you can cast your ballot and it will print out your ballot. After you view it, you can feed it back into the machine. That machine is not networked, so nobody can hack into it, but it will be completely different, revolutionary. It's completely ADA accessible, so anyone with any kind of disability can use it. You can change the contrast, change the languages, and people can vote by themselves for the very first time, especially people that have had severe disabilities that have never been able to vote independently. So I'm really excited for this weekend. Please come out, bring your friends, your family members. I want everyone to experience this equipment because we will no longer have one day of voting. We may have up to 11 days of voting. So it's going to be completely different, and I want to make sure that everyone in this room can please let your family and your friends know about that. Okay, so happy National Voter Registration Day. Any comments?
Yes.
Yes, go ahead, Hank.
Well, I had more to say.
Oh.
Yeah. Because I was surprised Keith Sharp is here. Because Keith is very sharp representing the casino. He doesn't represent the city. He represents the casino, and he does a darn good job of it. He talks about maybe a couple cities went off the JPA. We don't know how many cities yet until tomorrow's meeting. Hawaiian Gardens, out of all the cities, are the only ones that paid the $30,000. He calls the other cities a force. Well, the force should pay $30,000. They're over almost a month late. A city resident, and city employee got up saying to keep the JPA, and he mentioned, what's $70,000? How does he know that they might raise it to $70,000 when I'm a council member and I'm told it's going to remain at 30 and that I'm lying because it ain't going to be no 70? But he mentioned 70. Does he know something that council doesn't? Because that was the figure 4 cities instead of 7 would be paying $78,000. So tomorrow, I'm going to go as a spectator, as a concerned resident to the meeting to find out how many cities are there so I can get truth, so I can speak to the community on what's going on with the JPA. And then I'd like to have Keith Sharp come back and speak again where we can ask questions. Thank you very much.
Okay, do we have any other comments?
Yes, it's actually going to be off topic, not JPA related, but actually last Wednesday, I drove around the community and I just happened to stop by at Betty Middle School, and I noticed that there was some flag football games going out there, and so I wanted to thank Ernie and the group of staff that are putting that together, because for it being the first time that they started adult flag football, they were able to get approximately 3 teams, and so I was glad to see that a lot of the participants in that adult program were ex-participants in our youth sports and even some of the middle school. And so it tells me that a lot of our residents, they stay in the community, they want to be involved in the community. And as long as we continue to offer services and good services, they'll come back and they'll participate. So that's adult flag football. It's going on Wednesday nights at the first field, which is by the church side of the, they have approximately 3 teams and they start around 6 o'clock. And with that said, I'd like to propose if we could please have a discussion at the next council meeting to look into alternative programs for our teen center population, because I've been approached by a couple of the parents in the community that we don't really have a lot of alternatives, and that they think that that's where we start to lose some of our children. So I'm proposing that we start looking into the idea of alternative sports, because not everybody's a baseball player, football player, but there are activities out there where we can start to join our services and maybe our teen center or our YAL, and it could be something as simple as like kickball or things that are non-conventional, but that still can encourage participation out there. So I just wanted to thank the staff, because it was their first time and they had a great turnout. So thank you.
Yes, and just to touch base on what Mr. Roa was saying, yesterday the teen center finally opened. So if you guys haven't checked it out, if you guys have teens, please make sure that you enroll them. Yesterday was a the soft opening. The grand opening is October the 3rd, but I want to make sure that any teens that are watching this from home or parents that are here, please let your teens know that it's open for business. Okay. With that, we'll go ahead and move to the agenda. We have no public hearings tonight. The consent calendar. Would anyone like to pull any item off the consent calendar for a separate discussion? No? Okay, do we have any public comment on the consent calendar? Okay, seeing none, can I get a motion?
On the warrants?
Sure, now's the time. Yeah, you can come up, yes, thank you.
Yes, I noticed that on page 48, there's $7,696 paid to Carlos Ramos, which is one of the consultants that it was brought up to help the safety officers and our code enforcement. As I remember, it was never, you guys never approved it, and it was taken off, but then it came back, and it was paid by the city manager's special fund to April, I think it was through April, back pay. And so right now, I don't know what the total is, but I'm pretty sure it's pretty close to $20,000. Now, the special fund that the city manager has is supposed to be used for emergencies, broken air conditions, leaks in the roofs and stuff like that, and not to pay consultants. And there's a lot of money coming out of that special fund. I just wonder how much money did you guys or the city council approved? It's like a slush fund. And when I was a city council, I think it was around $30,000. But just this person alone already has close to $30,000. And so what's going to happen for an emergency? Like I said, we have an earthquake. We need to work. We need to fix something. That money is supposed to be used without going through the city council. So I just want to make a statement that Norwalk, I talked to many people in the city of Norwalk, and they were just very happy to see those two consultants from Norwalk come on over here. They couldn't wait to get rid of them. And they're just laughing at us. And they're, like I said, they're very happy. And you guys know what consultants I'm talking about. Thank you.
Madam Mayor. So I will provide a city council a report because I don't want to make it seem, based on public comments, that there's any inappropriate behavior. The gentleman is completely wrong about everything he said, and so I'll provide the city council details related to that.
Okay. Thank you. So do we have any other questions or comments? No. Seeing none, can I get a motion and a second to approve the consent calendar?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent calendar.
Second. No.
I second that.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Item C1, this is discussion item to approve resolution number 096-2019, discussion on the request to fill vacant city council seat.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, City Council. This agenda item is brought forth to you tonight in response to the resignation of Councilmember Rodriguez. The council member's resignation took effect on September 11th. Under the government code, the city council, if it wants to fill her seat, has 60 days to act to fill that vacancy. There are two options, effectively, under state law to proceed. The first option is a special election, which would be the city council would, in this event, direct staff to bring back a legislative package in which the election would be called at a later later city council meeting. The term in that event, if there is a special election, the person elected their term would last for the length of Councilmember Rodriguez's term, so it would go to 2022. If, on the other hand, the other option is an appointment, the appointment, the term of the appointment, because Councilmember Rodriguez resigned in the first half of her term, the appointment would go until the next city general election, which is November 2020, so effectively for the next year. Neither the government code nor Hawaiian Gardens municipal code specified the procedures for filling the vacancy in the event of appointment. So the criteria by which the city chooses an appointee is at the city council's discretion. These conversations must occur in open session. In addition, I should note with respect to the special election that the city would bear the cost of that election. The estimated cost, I think that the city clerk confirmed, is approximately $50,000 in the event of a special election. If you choose to, on the other hand, appoint, again, the procedures are up to you. In addition to bringing forth this agenda item tonight, we had Councilmember Trimble and Mayor Maravilla propose 2 individuals for appointment, which are also included in the staff report. And I believe those individuals are both in the audience tonight if the council has questions for them.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any public comment on this item?
Joe Cabrera Zedmeño, 1920 to 1926, saying, I'm a legal registered voter. The taxpayers paid $288,000 plus to Mr. Farfan in his 8 years as councilman. You can see this on Hawaiian Gardens Politics Now page on Facebook. These are facts. It is what is constitutionally obligated that you are all up there by the will of the people, of the registered voters. You should be mandated to hold a special election. This is not a small town in Mexico, Bruja Maravilla. This is the United States. What we need to know is that our taxpayer dollars, $288,000 Farfan got. Check this out on transparentcalifornia.com. These are facts. Do the math. We have the supplementals for Maravilla, and we also have the supplementals for Rios, but they're not at issue. We know that Rios is just a thrown-away vote, Mr. Trimble. When she was on this council, it was Maravilla and Rios and ding, let the fight begin. We don't want that. It'll be the same thing. We who are citizens have a duty to our country to vote and elect our government representatives. Not you, not you, not you, and not you. Them, the registered voters. I get hot because what is happening now, we're not Venezia, Carranzo, Michoacan, Del Campo, San Pedro, Mexico. This is Hawaiian Gardens. On those walls are all the people that made this city. Thank you. I'm not here for applause. I'm here to tell you the truth. We need a special election. Vote no, Mr. Rios. Vote no, Mr. Roa, and vote no,
Time's
Mr. Trimble.
up.
Force this
Time's
to a
up.
special election. Let the voters decide
Time's
who their
up.
taxpayer dollars go to.
Time's up.
Can I explain what the attorney said? Okay.
Yeah, right now it's comments.
Yes, okay.
Still at 226th Street. The early departure of our city council member really does require a vote of the people. This is just, I've been a resident here over 30 years, and I feel it's the only fair way to do this special election, and then let that person who wins the election fulfill the full term. It's not like she was 2 years in, it's a very short time in. For the appointment, I don't think it's a good idea to bring somebody in for just 1 year and then have to do it again, because basically she was here for just short of a year. It's more appropriate to have an election. It's for the people. That's what you're up there for. And we deserve the opportunity to make the decision. This is not a decision we give to our elected officials. This is a decision we have for ourselves. It's an honor to be able to vote. We need that opportunity.
Lorraine Cabrera, I'm hoping that you let us vote. It's our right to vote. I have no idea. Yes. All right. I'm just hoping that we continue, that us residents can vote and that do not fill in the seat for us, even though it will cost $50,000. $50,000 that means you're taking our vote away, and that's why we're here in America to vote, to have our freedom. And by you seating someone there, you're taking our freedom away from voting and having the right person that we want on the council, not that you want, who might side with you guys. So we want to vote. $50,000 is a drop in the bucket if you're for our freedom and the right to vote. So disregard the $50,000. I hear comments already, oh, I don't want them to spend $50,000. We spent $24,000 on a shady contractor. So $50,000, we got children in cages and separation of families in the borders trying to come to America. Let us vote. They're here to vote. They want freedom. They want to sit up there too. So let us vote and don't appoint anybody. Don't take that away from each and one of us residents of Hawaiian Gardens, because we'll remember that in our next election. And we'll throw it at your faces on every flyer the next election that comes. Do not appoint. Do not take our right of voting who we want. We want a selection of incumbents, not incumbents, but newly elected people who we want to be sitting there, not who you want. Another vote on your side. Because everything is closed behind doors over there no more. There's nothing in front of doors. Everything's closed sessions, closed sessions. So I'm just saying, this is going to go all against you guys. $50,000 is nothing. You're taking our right away. Not mine, every citizen who votes on this election in Hawaiian Gardens.
Luis Polanco, 22220 Horst, Hawaiian Gardens. I'd like to just point out that you guys were elected by the people, and I trust whatever decision that you come to, you'll think about the city and the residents. Either way, I don't mind if you choose them or if you do an election, but if we're going to spend $50,000 for another $50,000 when these people are just complaining about spending 20, 30, 40 for the JPA, why all of a sudden is 50,000 not an issue? So I'm here, whatever decision, I don't mind whatever decision you guys come to, because I chose you because for that reason, that I know that you guys are going to be firm. And I just want to let you guys know that whatever decision you come to, I respect. Uh, 22023 Juan Avenue. I agree with Luis. You guys are sitting there for a reason. The people chose you guys. We're not all perfect people, and these people are contradicting themselves, speaking about spending money. Again, sound like a broken record from previous weeks, just spending. But you guys have the discretion from what I just heard from the intern city attorney. And I agree with Luis. And the people, you know, we're giving you guys our faith. So whatever's best for Hawaiian Gardens, not for 2-3 residents that are complaining about money. It's about our youth, not old methods, not old people. I agree that you guys have every right, and if it's the law, it's the law. And I agree that no one's above the law, so Don't feel intimidated. You guys do what's best for our people and best for our city to grow and come together. That's it.
Good evening, council members. Again, my name is Mariana Rios. I was a past council member, and I know that many of our residents are watching this meeting right now and seeing what is going on. So I really thank you for tuning in and seeing what's happening in our city. Obviously, I was a council member, and so just the possibility of serving in this council again is such an honor, and I would be completely thrilled and accept the possibility of that. I would like to say that it is unfortunate that Ms. Rodriguez stepped down. And I am complete shock because this is such an honor. However, I did run in the election. I did commit to the city to serving this community again, and I did come in fourth in that election. And why am I here again? And that is that a lot of things that happened during that election were not okay. And people did things that were very underhanded, and we do live in the United States of America. We do live in a society that is supposed to be equal vote, equal rights for every single voter in this community. And so hence, anyone who has asked, I have already told them that, yes, I will run again. And yes, I do want another opportunity at this wonderful and honorable position. And so that's why I'm here. I would love to serve as a council member. It would be a great privilege. I do believe that when I was serving on the council, a lot of what supported me is that I have been a resident of Hawaiian Gardens for over 30 years. I did reinstate, with the support of my fellow council members, the beautification program. We have gotten so many residents in this community so happy because they've been able to modify their homes and make it a better area. Also, in regards to the cleanups, obviously it's been taken over, but one of the priorities of mine was to make sure our city is clean. I had the endless dedication as a teacher to support our youth of this community and not just speak it, but actually do it. In the sense of investing in our youth in their schools and investing in our youth in their sports. And all of it was a proven success, even Mr. Apodaca commenting today in the video in terms of how much our youth have progressed. And all it needs is just a little bit of faith, a little bit of believe in them that they can do it and knowing that they can do it. And they have proven it once and again. So I hope I can count on each of your supports to reinstate me in that position. Or if there's an election, I will be running again because of those issues. I had, just to point one of the items, I had like over 100 lawn signs that were printed for my election, and 90 of them somehow disappeared. And getting out the vote at the last minute, I had 10. So there was an aggressive move on individuals' parts to take down something that had been paid by individuals who supported me, and it's just petty. And that is the reason that I would run again. That is the reason why I would seek the vote of the residents of Hawaiian Gardens in reelecting me and giving me the opportunity to serve this great city.
Good evening, City Council. Victor Farfan, former mayor, City Council member. Been a resident for over 40 years. I'm a proud father now, raising 2 young boys here in the community. And I'm here to advocate for myself. Obviously, I'm on the agenda tonight with a potential opportunity to serve again. What I want to say is that it would truly be an honor to sit up there again and to work as hard as I did for the community, to do the best that I can to ensure that the community continues to progress as it has while I was in office. We did quite a bit in order to push Hawaiian Gardens forward, to change the overall image, to assure that we had financial stability, whether it be partnering with the casino, working hard with the JPIA, and doing everything we can to maintain financial stability for our residents in terms of programming. It was a lot of hard work, but it was something that I truly had a passion for, something that I believed in, and something that was difficult to let go when I lost the election. But it was a good thing in the sense that I had an opportunity to give myself a break, to spend some time with my children, with my family, and to kind of reflect upon, what's going on in the community. And now that this opportunity has presented itself, I feel that, it's kind of when I look back when I was younger, when I was given the opportunity to serve the community, I'm like, wow, here it is again right in front of me. And this is something that I can't let go. And I'm like, I have family here, and I want to continue to do everything I can and be a part of the community, and advocate for it. So I just want to say that I appreciate the opportunity tonight, and I hope that you guys will vote in favor of allowing me to serve again the City of Hawaiian Gardens and to press forward on making it the best community that we can possible. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, seeing no other comments. Do we have any questions on the agenda staff report?
No.
No? Okay. So as the staff report reads, Councilmember Trimble is nominating Mariana Rios,
Yes.
and I myself am nominating Mr. Farfan. And I don't know if you'd like to speak first.
Yes, I'd like to speak first. The reason I'm nominated Mariana Rios, and this first part also goes out to Victor Farfan, who served as a former mayor, city council. Both of them have been tried by fire. Both of them got yelled at from an angry group and still stuck to their gun. So both of them are proven council members, and that's what we need right now with different situations coming up and the whole truth not yet known about like JPA yet, and it's coming out. It'll come out. But we need leadership that will look out for the city and decide what's great for the city, no matter what hearsay says. But let me get back to my nominee, Mariana Rios, who did run in this last election and came in 4th place. During the State of the City, I spoke with the Sheriff Department, and they said, Mr. Trimble, that is a great choice, because she's always been a great supporter of us. She's been a great supporter of the fire. She's been an excellent supporter of the union, of the employees of the City of Hawaiian Gardens. She has a great relationship with ABC School District, always supported them. She's been nothing but 100% behind every senior program, and the seniors do love her, and she spends her life teaching children. She loves this community. She's a great choice for this community, and that's why I'm bringing up her to fill the vacant seat, because she can do the job. Now you can clap.
So thank you.
No, it's okay. I'm only playing. Yeah.
Okay. So like Mr. Trimble said, we I think both people that are nominated tonight have served for the City of Hawaiian Gardens and have been chosen by the people at some point. And I do want to recognize Mr. Victor Farfan. I know that I actually ran a campaign in opposition to Mr. Farfan and was able to be successful in that endeavor. But never once was the issue of his decision-making or his leadership in question. Mr. Farfan did an excellent job during his entire time here on the City Council as both a council member and a mayor. I know I personally looked up to him when I was a staff member because of his ability to manage difficult situations and the expertise that he brought from his personal sector, private sector experience in business. And I think that's an area that I would love to continue to develop is our business community economic development. And that is one of Mr. Farfan's great strengths. And so I know that he was an avid supporter of our union rank and file management. He was always a great supporter of our staff, of our department heads. And so I appreciated how he moved our city forward with the renovation of our new library, bringing forward and helping with the Veterans Memorial. I know him and Mr. Rodriguez both worked on that, and just moving the city forward with initiating the entire redo of Carson Street. And I know when I came in, we kind of made the final decisions, but that was really the groundwork that was laid by his leadership. And so I do want to commend him for all of his efforts while he was here. And I hope that the community sees the value that Mr. Farfan would bring to the city council. Like Mr. Trimble said, we do face some difficult situations, some difficult decision making in the upcoming months and years. There's a lot of moving parts to the city of Hawaiian Gardens, and I would be lying if I said that this was an easy job. It's not. And I want to commend our staff and Ernie and all of my council for always helping to make decisions on behalf of you, the residents. And so because I feel strongly about Mr. Farfan's commitment to the city of Hawaiian Gardens and what he could contribute to this body, I know that he would be a great fit, both in his personality, in his leadership style, and in his communication. And although I won't say anything negative about Mrs. Rios the way she said about me at the podium, I will say that something that I've learned coming on the council is that communication and teamwork is number one. In order to really move our city forward, we all need to be able to get along, and we need to be able to respect each other and bring the best face of Hawaiian Gardens forward everywhere that we go. And I will commend Mr. Trimble, Mr. Roa, Ms. Rodriguez, who did serve, and Mr. Alvarado for giving me that teamwork that we all so very much need up here on the dais. Nothing is ever an easy decision. There's a lot of moving parts, like I said, and teamwork is something, and collaboration is something that I've learned to really appreciate while being here on council. The council that's here now is a much different council that was here when I first got elected in 2015. And I do appreciate that quality very, very much. And as great as a person may be, and as great as their ideas may be, unless they're able to work collaboratively and in a teamwork and positive fashion, things cannot get done and our city cannot move forward. So it all starts with leadership and the attitude that our leadership takes. And I'm proud of the attitude and the personality and the leadership and the teamwork abilities that Mr. Farfan was always able to showcase while his time on the city council, and I respect him deeply for that. And I do also want to take a couple of moments. I do want to congratulate Monica for her service while her time on the city council. Although I know that it was a very short period that she was here, as many of you do know, Monica was recently engaged, and she is getting married and will no longer be living in the city of Hawaiian Gardens. So as you know, you have to be a resident of the city of Hawaiian Gardens in order to serve. So although I'm very sad to see her go, I know that she is very excited, and as her friend, I'm very excited and wish her the best in the next stage of her life, in her marriage, in making her life with her partner. So I do want to give her a great thank you for taking that initiative to run for office. It's not an easy task. It's also not an easy task to make decisions on behalf of you, the residents. So thank you, Monica, for your time here on the council. And I hope that my colleagues consider the qualities that I expressed of Mr. Victor Farfan in moving our city forward for the next year until the next regular election in November.
So, Madam Mayor, as the staff report indicates, we have 2 council members nominating candidates instead of the other options available to City Council, so it'd be appropriate at this point, given what was requested, for somebody to make a motion for appointment of an individual.
I'd like to make a motion to nominate Mariana Rios for the vacancy of Ms. Rodriguez on City Council. Now I need a second.
Councilmember Trimble, could I clarify your motion? Are you proposing to adopt the resolution in the staff report in which you would include Ms. Rios' name in the...
Bringing this in motion, or isn't this
No,
already in motion?
Let me clarify. So there's a resolution, a draft resolution in the agenda, that would allow you to appoint whoever is nominated and selected. If that's what the council chooses. If you don't choose that, then obviously it wouldn't apply. But so from the
I
attorney's
see it.
perspective, is do
I
you
see
want to
it.
put Mariana Rios in that resolution?
Yes. I move to adopt resolution number 095-219. Nope, that's not it. I'm on a different page. Because I want to talk about the trees next, so I'm on the forest.
I believe it's 096-2019, a resolution of the City Council appointing Mariana Rios to the vacant City Council seat until the next general municipal election in November 2020.
C1, I'm going to C1 now.
Page 79.
With the direction to staff to fill in Ms. Rios' names and all the blank spots.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second? Okay, seeing none, motion fails. I would like to make a motion to fill the vacancy for the 1 year as indicated in the staff report through November of 2020 for Mr. Victor Farfan. Yes, go ahead.
And for clarification, that motion would also be to adopt resolution number 0966-2019 with the name Victor Farfan entered into all the blank spots throughout the resolution so that there would be an appointment through November 2020.
Can I, before we adopt that or before we make a motion, can I please make a statement? So I'd like to make a motion to, first of all, fill the vacancy through the city council appointment. And the reason why is some of the concerns that the citizens have expressed is the finance aspect of it, which you think we're overspending. So $50,000, again, it may not be that much to some of you, but it is $50,000. And that person that we appoint would only serve for 1 year. So by the time the election actually takes place, it would be around April, May of next year, which means that March, which means that the public is going to have the opportunity to actually vote on who they choose to elect come November. So again, my motion is to fill the vacancy through one of the nominees, and the reason why is because, again, like Mr. Trimble said, and even our mayor both expressed, we have two people here in front of us that have one been elected by the public before, two they have served and honored the council through their seats. And I mean, I have nothing negative to say about either one of them. I think they're both respected in the community. I think their heart is in the community. And so my motion, first of all, would be to approve the vacancy.
So I made a motion. Do you want to make a subsequent motion?
You could
Well-
second the mayor's motion and then make your own substitute motion in which your motion is the process is to go by appointment.
Right, but we have to approve the election process, the appointment process first before they can move forward with making a recommendation, right?
That's included in the staff report, so the motion would cover that.
The resolution is basically doing what you're saying.
Okay.
It's just a matter of who gets put into the vacant slot. So the mayor has a motion now. That's essentially, I mean, if I understand your comments, you support making an appointment and are open to whom that appointment's for. And right now,
Yes.
there's a motion.
So
on
I
the
support making the appointment, and in addition to that, I would support in this scenario. I would definitely support Victor Farfan, and the reason why is it is important to me sitting up here that we have someone that is going to help the city move forward, and also is going to treat every one of us with respect. Because up to this point, whether you disagree with our opinion or not, there's no one out there that could say that we have ever been disrespectful to any member of the public or to each other. And to me, that's important because we need to be cooperative and we need to continue to move the city forward. So, again, I would support Victor Farfan.
Is that a second
Yes,
to my
it
motion?
is.
Okay. All those in favor in support of Victor Farfan and to approve resolution number 096-2019, can we do a roll call vote, Madam City Clerk?
Councilmember Trimble,
I'm going to
Thank you, sir. Councilmember Roa?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Alvarado?
Yes.
Mayor Maravilla?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, and congratulations, Victor Farfan. Welcome back to the team. So item C2, this is resolution number 095-2019. And this is to adopt the urban forest management plan for city-owned trees. And do we have a staff report?
Yes, Honorable Mayor and members of the City Council. This was an item that was discussed about a month ago where we essentially discussed the different species of trees that we wanted to see as part of the urban forest management plan. So with the adoption of resolution number 95-2019, you would essentially be adopting a new urban forest management plan pursuant to ordinance number 574, which was adopted in 2017. Essentially, this plan is basically a roadmap for the care of our tree inventory and the replacement process of those trees. When the City Council did discuss this item about a month ago, essentially we were looking at different species of trees that brought different type of color, evergreen trees, and basically somewhat drought tolerant. And so that was incorporated, and we didn't hear any changes from the City Council, so we incorporated that into the plan itself. The details of the plan also include a tree planting plan / detail, which Public Works pretty much follows, vacancy sites which have been identified and can change on a constant basis. The frequency report also is discussed in there, and that basically talks about the various type of trees that we have. Of course, our most popular one is the queen palm, the height of the trees, and et cetera. We also have the sample ordinance attached to the urban forest management plan. We have a tree maintenance policy, which basically includes a trimming schedule. And then lastly, a best management practices, which is more about the pruning process and care of the tree itself. So with that, we are recommending approval of resolution 95-2019. This resolution doesn't necessarily approve any particular project. This is something that we will have to visit as we come back and look at the budget, or if someone wants to amend the budget to deal with trees. But we are at this point recommending adoption of 95-2019. The significance of this plan is more about trying to apply for the Tree USA designation. So as part of that process, there are 4 standards that needed to be met to get the Tree USA designation. One, having a tree board or department responsible for the management plan, and that we did through the ordinance. So we have 2 distinct departments involved in that, and that is Community Development Department and the Public Works Department, as they are very involved in maintenance of the trees. The second item was having an ordinance itself, and that is resolution number 574. The third item is having the actual urban forest management plan, which if you adopt this tonight, you would be in compliance, and establishing a $2 per capita, which is roughly about $30,000 a year, which we already do that. And then, of course, having an Arbor Day proclamation and observance day. So if we meet those requirements, we would then be able to make an application and get the designation of Tree USA, and then they would provide us a plaque and some signs and et cetera. So really that was the significance of doing this. We've already applied for some tree grants out there for private property installation, and we're going to continue to look for other grants as well. So again, we are recommending that you adopt 95-2019.
Vice Mayor, members of the City Council. So as Mr. Colombo stated, this is part of the process of not only being designated as Tree City USA, but also making grant funding available to us. That said, the next item related to this that's going to come forward, which is an important item for the City Council to make a decision on, will be to designate which trees and which areas of the city will look a certain way long term, so that when we apply for grants, and more importantly, when we actually free up city monies so that we can actually purchase trees and start implementing some of the, I think, the long-term goal of making Hawaiian Gardens a greener community, we will have basically our marching orders of staff as to what the City Council wants to designate the city as far as the kinds of trees. If you recall, 2 weeks ago, you approved the type of trees that are available that don't use a lot of water, don't cause root damage. This process here basically approves a policy of prioritizing the trees and a greener community. And the next step will be to actually identify and essentially plan this community's green landscape, and so that when we apply for grants and when we dedicate monies, It'll be similar to like the 5-year CIP plan. We'll have our marching orders of what priorities and what areas of the city will go first, second, third. And so I want you to understand that, one, this is part of the process of being a Tree City USA, but two, more importantly, I think it's a step in the process of designating how you want the city to look into the future. Okay.
Do we have any residents' comments on this resolution?
Jan Lapointe, 12020, 226th Street. And now I'm speaking as the president of our Belcher Gardens Condominium Association. We reached out to the organization and found out that our association, our properties would be entitled to the possibility of 6 trees being planted in our association. And so I look at this as a wonderful opportunity for us to partner with the city. The concern we have is that the trees that were available to us all required, they all have a very broad base and extensive root system. We were told that the dwarf trees that were talked about for the narrower areas would not be available to us. So I hope that's something that can be resolved, because this could be a great opportunity for us to work together and help us be a part of the progress with getting the trees up in this city. Thank you.
Okay, seeing no other public comment, do we have any deliberation?
I have one comment. It all started on 224th Street because it was elevating fences and sidewalks and gutters and tripping kids on the way to school. And now it's citywide, which is no problem. Trees are beautiful. But are we pulling up any palm trees and replacing them with other trees?
No.
We're
So
not going to. Okay, thank
what
you
we are
very
doing
much.
right now is, you're correct. So what we're trying to do is go from we're essentially complaint based. So we get a complaint that the sidewalk's uplifted or the trip and fall hazard, those kind of things. We go and replace that with a more environmentally favorable tree. I don't know how you want to classify it, but essentially it's a similar type of tree. We're not replacing palms. Part of what I was talking to you about, the next step, is what you're talking about, is laying out essentially a tree plan for the city of what trees go in what neighborhoods, both so they're aesthetically pleasing, but more importantly, so you kind of develop this theme and kind of fluid aesthetic expectation of what the community expects, right? And so when we come to you with available monies, we want to have that plan in place and the city council basically approval of the type of trees that we'll be replacing. And so for that reason, right now all we're really doing is replacing it with like type trees. If you recall, I went out to a resident's home with you and we replaced that tree with a similar tree that doesn't create issues. But essentially, right now, all we're doing is replacing trees that are either damaged, infected with illness, or creating public safety issues.
Thank you.
Yeah, one of the things I'd like to see maybe in the future is now once we have this program of planting new trees, eventually I'd like to see more green in our city. After all, our city is called Hawaiian Gardens. You know, I go to Palm Springs. Palm Springs is a desert place, but they have, a lot of beautiful plants that require very little water. So, you go out there, it doesn't feel like you're in the desert. It's so green. You go other places like Big Bear, they got beautiful trees and plants that they're really green and all year round. So I like to improve our city by making it more green, more appealing, and more attractive for the, people in business and people, more friendly environment as far as green.
Mr. Colombo, how many target areas did they identify, the arborists?
The arborists had identified as potential 900 sites that could accommodate additional trees.
So that'll be the goal initially as far as the sites to address. The hard part really falls on you, the city council, of deciding what the guide is for the type of trees that we put there. And you're right. I think for the most part, outside of not only not causing a lot of root damage, most of them they take less water than what's out there now. And that's kind of the long-term goal anyway.
So this plan was written by
West Coast Arborists.
West Coast, are they here?
Yes, they are.
Where? Oh, yeah, I see you. So I just want to say thank you for putting this together. It's a great plan. And Jamie, great job. I know you guys probably work together on this. So, and identifying the 900 sites, that gives us a vision and a plan for the future, which is what we want to do. We want to be forward thinking and always look for opportunities for grants, and hopefully become a Tree City USA like we discussed before. So I just really want to thank you on your commitment to sticking with a very tight deadline that I know we talked about at the CIP committee. I'm really looking forward to next year's Arbor Day, and hopefully we can continue to make our city greener. But for me, it's not just about making it greener, but about making our city more walkable for all of the residents. I would like to see our city full of shade and trees that provide shade so that people actually want to walk from, Starbucks to their home or to the grocery store and want to do it because it's a choice, not because, they're forced to. Right now, and especially in the summertime, I see a lot of people that walk, have to use an umbrella because it's so hot and there's no shade. And I really want to make this a city where we can connect with each other. And right now, I feel like a lot of us drive. I mean, I'm even guilty of this, right? We need to go to the ATM at the 7-Eleven. We drive through our city, even if it's just a couple of blocks, or I need to come here to the rec center. I drive. I need to visit my parents on Clarkdale. I drive, right? So it's like instead of walking, we're driving. Part of the reason, at least on my end, is there's no shade. My dog, I only walk my dog at night because there's no shade and it's really, really hot and, skin cancer and all that. So I just thank you for this plan. It keeps our city and the council focused on what's next to come with the tree planting. And I'm looking forward to those 200 trees. Have you guys tried it, by the way, the 200 trees? I tried it, and it's really neat. You actually map out or highlight where your house is, and it tells you where the tree would be planted for the 200 trees that are free. I know it's not necessarily a part of this, right? But just wanted to throw it out there. We still have free trees, so. Do we have any other comments? No? Okay, can I get a motion and a second to approve?
I got to make the motion for resolution number 095-2019.
I'll second it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Before we go to item C3, I'd like to consider item C4, which is the new item that we added to the agenda related to partnering with the Veteran of Foreign Wars to host the Wall That Heals for the 2020 National Tour, also known as the Vietnam Traveling Wall. Do we have a staff report?
Honorable Mayor, members of the City Council, this item is being presented to you so that the Wall That Heals, which is a traveling replica of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Washington, D.C., can actually come to our city. I know that VFW Commander Laughlin has been very dedicated and working very hard the last 3 years to try to bring this wall to our city, which is a huge honor. I understand they select a very few cities every year for the tour, and then once the cities are selected, they have a very short time in which to respond. So Commander Laughlin presented us with the opportunity to partner and host as a city along with the VFW, and currently the VFW has committed to assisting. Commander Laughlin has actually been involved in the past in the neighboring cities when they've brought the wall, so he's very knowledgeable and experienced in what needs to happen and what needs to take place. The exhibit and the ceremonies that take place along with the preparation, setup, and breakdown of the wall. And at this time, he feels very confident that there is an opportunity for him to fundraise along with some of his colleagues and associations to collect the funding that would be required throughout the year. And if the council is so inclined, they would need additional staff support. The wall and the exhibit is mostly done by a group of volunteers and dedicated people that really believe in what this brings to the communities. It is not just an exhibit, it is an educational opportunity. They have reached out to some of the local schools with the the possibility of bringing the wall, and they are very excited. The schools are very excited for the opportunity that would bring as an educational component to the kids and our community. On behalf of them, one of the things that they would need, which would be minimal, would be to have some staff assist with the setup and breakdown, including things like, providing any electrical things. So the cost would be minimum, and it would be in reference to that. And I'm sorry? Exactly. So the total amount, if any, would not exceed a $10,000 amount, which the city manager has current authority to allocate. With that, I believe that concludes my report. If you have any questions, I can answer some of them. If not, Commander Laughlin is here for any specific questions related to the exhibit.
And Madam Mayor, if I may, so just to sort of clarification, the reason you're hearing this tonight and it wasn't on the agenda is because they need an answer by tomorrow morning, correct? And so because they need an answer by tomorrow morning, as far as the city's commitment, that is what we're seeking tonight. If the city council approves this, there will be corresponding budget amendments, those kind of things. But obviously this is a pretty significant event. I think the commander told me that they've been trying to get this for over 2 years, and he can speak more to that process. But I do want to let you know the reason why it's on the agenda tonight and it wasn't part of the packet is because the commander called me this weekend and said that they need a decision by today, actually, but they gave him another day. So, okay.
Sounds great. Well, great opportunity. Do we want to open it up for public comment first? Yeah. Do we have any public comment? Mr. Laughlin, you're not public comment. You'll be part of the staff report. You're bringing this to us, so it's an honor.
Yes, we've been trying to get the wall for the last couple of years, and most of the time we were too late. The other cities had already gotten it. As far as volunteers, we have plenty of volunteers, veteran volunteers who are going to be helping to set up the wall, tear it down, and also security 24 hours a day. So that shouldn't be too much cost at all. Thank you.
Good evening, Council. Jesus Mendoza at 22022 St. Avenue. That's right. I appreciate, what Mike. I've gone to it when it's at Mayfair, and I think it's something that would be very educational. I would be perfect. I think the only site that could obviously hold such a wall because of the length would probably be Fetty, and I think that would be great. I think I know that Prentice is here also for football. And last time we helped raise some money, so that way to help them out over there when I was at Mayfair. I think all three organizations, whether it's the football and Frank Amar from Little League and obviously Don Mario from the Eagles, I think they would be more than helpful to help out in order to fundraise. So that way we can be able to host it. I think it would be very educational, and I think it's great having all the volunteers and having the actual kids to see actually what an impact it makes, all the names that are on there. Because I know that some of us are not going to go to Mayfair, but if it's brought here, I think they will pull a lot of people from this community and the surrounding Lakewood sites, and obviously even from Cerritos or Cypress around. So hopefully you guys could approve it, and hopefully you guys could help out, but it would be great. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any other public comments before we invite over Commander Laughlin? Okay, seeing none, Commander Laughlin, please. We're so excited to hear about this opportunity.
Thank you. Of course, I'm a little bit confused. Am I commander or commissioner? Gotcha.
Whatever you want to be. Whatever you want to be.
No, if you were Navy, it's commissioner.
Yeah, there you go. No, I do appreciate this opportunity. I am a resident of Hawaiian Gardens. I live on 212th, not far from Hank's Church, within walking distance, although I don't walk there. It's too hot. But as it was stated, yes, I was asked by the previous city council to find out how we brought the wall here, and I said, I've got a muscular disorder. People ask for a volunteer, my arm does this. So I said, I'll take it on. And it's been over 2 years. I really didn't think we would get it this soon because it was just in Bellflower this past year. But out of 27 cities, we were chosen. And it is a very short turnaround. They will be sending, if you approve it, they'll be sending you a contract the middle of next month. And at that time, they need half of the money. The other half doesn't have to be paid until 30 days before it comes. And it currently is scheduled for October of 2020, the last weekend of October. We can't announce it. They don't want us to do any media stuff until everybody's been notified and everybody's happy and all the bugs have been ironed out.
I was already drafting the press release right now. I was taking notes.
Trust me, yeah. But I do have a lot of other veteran service organizations, the Vietnam Veterans Association, the American Legion, the Disabled American Veterans. All of those have helped, along with myself and the VFW, to work these walls anywhere within 100 miles. Some of my guys have gone to Las Vegas to work the Vietnam Wall, so they know what they're doing. And they've all been breathing down my neck, shall we say. So they're ready, and we want to do this. And I think it would be an absolutely fantastic opportunity. So hopefully you guys approve it, and we can move on with it. If you've got any questions at all, I'd be happy to answer them.
Well, not really a question, but it sounds like quite an honor to be able to host the wall. I just, for logistic purposes, would there be someone there guarding the wall, or actually?
Yeah, we don't call them a guard because technically we're not, carrying a gun or anything. But there will be staff there 24/7. It's open 24 hours a day because some of the veterans can't go out in a crowd. So they want to come at 2 o'clock in the morning, that's fine. But there'll be a minimum of 2 to 3 of us there. Of course, I'll be there. My wife needs a break, I'll be there. So
I'll do the midnight shift with you.
There you go.
The other question is, do we need to contact the ABC, being that it's on school?
So our joint use agreement would allow us to utilize it, but certainly we always coordinate, and so we will do that. The other thing is, I've actually participated in this event in another agency, and it's a very organized. They have a system for this, and so as far as security and logistics, it's all kind of pre-planned. It's plug-and-play type situation, so it's a pretty impressive operation.
Well,
and there's no lack of volunteers, actually.
Well, it sounds like quite an honor, so I'd actually like to make a motion to approve, if my colleagues are okay with that.
Yeah, I'll second it.
Before we vote, I do want to thank the VFW for giving the City of Hawaiian Gardens an opportunity to partner with you, and thank you for giving us that honor, and we look forward to making this come to fruition. So thank you all very much.
Hopefully you'll still be thanking me a year from now.
I'll probably be volunteering with you, so thank you. I appreciate it.
Outstanding. We'll take all the volunteers we can get.
Absolutely.
So a point of clarification, the staff report says provide direction to the city manager. Essentially authorize me to do all the logistics to make this an event for the city.
Yep. So we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries to move forward. Thank you.
No, thank you.
Okay, so the next item is consideration to approve donations to nonprofit organizations. Do we have a staff report?
Yes. The nonprofit organizations may submit applications for donations from the city in July and in January. We received 2 applications in this first cycle, one from Hawaiian Gardens Youth Football and Cheer, and one from Community Family Guidance Center. Both requested $5,000. Staff is asking for council to review and consider the nonprofit requests and determine donation amounts, if any.
So just to add to that, for the benefit of the city council, whatever monies you don't dedicate, there's another cycle in the year, and that's when other folks request monies, and you can dedicate those dollars then. But the current request is 2 requests for $5,000 each, and the city council can approve up to that amount or none at all.
Do we have any public comment on this item? Anyone would
Mr.
like to
Cinco?
speak? Yeah.
Mayor and council members, it's an honor to be here today. I want to thank, first of all, the city of Hawaiian Gardens for partnering, being our partner for the last, it's a long day, isn't it? Being our partner for the last several years. Every year I come and report, and I like to give you numbers specific to the city. So I'd like to do that now if that's okay with you. In the fiscal year, this last fiscal year, we brought in 37 new children to treat from Hawaiian Gardens. I'm kind of a geek, so I got on Google and I Googled how many streets are in Hawaiian Gardens. And there's 44 that came up on Google. So that means one child from every block almost we saw, which kind of sank in to me, you know, and maybe that sinks into you too. 27 of them were for non-intensive services, and that can be a real wide gamut of reasons that they're being treated, anxiety, so on and so forth. They could have been bullied at school and they were dealing with that trauma, so on. But 10 of them were treated for what we call intensive reasons, and that is more acute cases where we're concerned that they're harming themselves or others, and might involve a lot of suicide-related cases. So just a couple stats there for you for that. 90% of our clients that came from Hawaiian Gardens were Hispanic. 51% of the clients that came from Hawaiian Gardens were male, 49% female. The ages, 26% of those kids that came from Hawaiian Gardens were ages 5 through 9. 35% were ages 10 through 14. And 27% were ages 15 to 19. We delivered 680 service hours to Hawaiian Garden residents. And the number of new clients and the number of hours is actually down this year, which some people would really rejoice over. And I'm not sure the reason, though, is something to rejoice over. We actually, last year, received no more money from the county to do what we do. And we have continued to have our busiest years ever with the most calls ever. And then actually 4 times last year, we had to shut down our intake line because we just didn't have the funds and the staff to treat everybody. I mean, overall, we carry 500 to 600 kids a week is who we see. So that's my worry about that number is we weren't able to see everybody. So that's how important your donation is to the agency. We did bring county money into the city, and over $120,000 of county money into the city with our contract that we do have with the county. So we're happy to do that. The other thing I'd like to point out is I gave you guys a fact sheet that I passed out, and I'll put some of these on the back table in case there's anybody in the audience that would like to grab them. But one other thing I'd like to point out on this fact sheet that I gave you was nearly 18% of our kids come from the ABC Unified School District, which covers Hawaiian Gardens as well. So on a really bright note, we had Juan from Parks and Rec come and visit us last week with his staff, 2 staff members, and we had a really good visit. And we talked all about, we showed him what we did. I actually put him in a therapy room. I didn't give him therapy, but we put him in a therapy room and showed him what we did in the therapy room and so on and so forth. We showed him our PCIT room, which is a new therapy we're doing that we're real excited about, where we actually have a therapist in another room through a one-way glass do the therapy through the parent who has an earpiece in their ear, and they can actually do the therapy themselves because the therapist is telling them what to do. And the advantage of that is they get to take it home. And, you know, because we only get them for an hour, right? So when they learn it, they get to take it home and apply it at home. So it's a really neat therapy that we're doing with that. But we did talk a lot about the Teen Center and how we can collaborate there. And so we're really excited that you guys opened up that teen center. Bravo to you. I think it's much needed, and we hope to be a part of that and help in any way we can. So any questions for me?
I have a question. What is the challenge you see on the kids from 5 to 9? What is the most common that happens to them?
The biggest thing over the last couple of years, overall ages, is they're getting bullied at school. And, when I was a kid, if you got bullied, you could go home and get away from it, right? Not now, because social media and everything else it's 24/7 for these kids. And there's just a really high stress level in society right now. Everything going on with deportation and everything else going on. We're just dealing with a lot of stress that I didn't have to deal with as a kid. So I hope that answers your question, but that's the main thing.
Yes. What is the emotional level at this point in time of this overall? What's the impact emotionally to them?
Well, unfortunately, suicide is like the second leading cause of death right now. It's in the last 2 years, we've seen just a great increase in suicidal cases. I get an email every time there's a crisis going on that we're dealing with, and a crisis means we brought a kid in and we may have to commit that kid because they're trying to harm themselves. I'm getting a crisis notification every week, where 4 years ago I was getting it once a month. So that's been a big increase. And I wish I had an answer as to why. I'm sure it's many factors.
Yes, thank you.
I actually, more than a question, would like to thank you for your service here in the community. I know mental health is a serious issue for a lot of young children and even adults. And with that said, we need those kind of services in the community. I know you partner with ABC. ABC is a big part of our community. And so I wanted to thank you for providing that guidance. And I know in the Hispanic community, for a lot of us, it's kind of like a taboo topic to be able to talk about mental health issues, but we need to start bringing awareness that there is programs out there where the kids that are being bullied at school and even online or any of these other new emerging bullying techniques or whatever you want to call them, there is options out there for the kids, and this is an important program in our community, so thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you.
I echo. Thank you.
Good evening, Council. Pardon my mess. Came straight from work. My name is Julio Cesar Marquez. I'm a resident at 21921 Claretta Avenue. I'm also vice president of the Hawaiian Gardens Football League and athletic director right now. And I also do, I'm a coach for the Hawaiian Gardens Little League as well. And I would just like to give you a little, before you guys' decision, I would just like to give you guys a little feedback on what we do with that money. As far as football, the years I've been there for about 5 years now. My kid started when he was 5, now he's 10. And I've been volunteering there for that many years, as well as for baseball. But what I've seen from, at this point, I would like you guys to acknowledge Coach Prentice I would just like to let you guys know the stuff that I've seen him do, where he doesn't turn anybody down. If these kids don't have any money, he doesn't turn them down. He does I've seen him even pay out of his pocket to keep these kids in these, or your kids in these programs. And with your guys' help, that goes a long way. As a volunteer, sometimes we go out of our way to pick up your kids and give them rides to those less fortunate that their parents are too busy to take them to the sports. So all that gas money, all that snack money, sometimes that goes out of our pockets, and like I said, that help goes a long way. because we don't get that money back. That's just our personal, it's just from our heart, from what we love to do. So I'd like to have the city council recognize that. And same thing for our president from baseball. I don't see him here today, but I've seen him do it where he doesn't turn anybody down either. So by those funds that you guys provide our city youth, baseball is able to keep prices so low that's why he has that number of kids playing there. Because a lot of the other cities, they charge an arm and a leg for what these guys do. So we try to keep our costs down so everybody has a chance to play. And well, yeah, I would just like to let the city council know where that money goes to. And thank you for your time.
Thank you. Okay, do we have any comments from the council?
I just have to say that these two organizations have proven themselves over the years, so I have no comment. Good job, gentlemen.
Well, I echo that. I mean, I see it out there, football, all the football, baseball, and every other sport that's out there. I see it out there. I see the effort of the coaches and the time it takes and the dedication and the number of kids that they pull to the point where we have no space. We need more parks in this community. We have a lot of kids, a lot of athletes, and we just don't have the space. So, I mean, again, I have no problem with that. I support that 100%.
And I do want to echo my colleagues' comments, and I want to thank the Community Family Guidance Center for all the work that they do in the community and helping our children, especially in times of need related to mental illness. And I want to thank all of the coaches that often put in the real hours, the real sacrifice, time away from their families to help our children with their sports. So thank you to our coaches. Thank you to our leadership in Hawaiian Gardens Youth Football and Cheer. And I appreciate what you guys all do in the community. So with that, do we have a motion and a second to approve?
I make a motion to approve. Wait, I don't have the numbers in front of me, and I just put my glasses away, but I want to approve both the Guidance Center and the football.
Yeah, it's 5 and 5.
Okay, I want a motion to approval of resolution number 095-219. Nope, that's forest management. I can't get those trees out of my head.
Consider the donations to nonprofit organizations.
So a motion to approve both donations.
Yes, on 09.
Well, there's no.
There's no number.
Okay.
Okay.
Then
I make the motion to approve both organizations, nonprofits.
And the amount. We need the amount.
Of
because it's your
$5,000
discretion. Okay,
each.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'll second that.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries unanimously. Moving on with the agenda, do we have any committee reports? Anybody? No? Okay. New business? No new business. Any oral reports?
Yes, Madam Mayor, members of the City Council, as stated earlier this evening, our Teen Center is open for business. The Teen Center during school day schedules will be open from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. The address of the Teen Center is 22325 Norwalk Boulevard. And also, in addition, next Thursday, October 3rd, we will have the ribbon cutting ceremony for the Teen Center from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Mayor, members of the council, again, I just wanted to remind everybody that today was voter registration day, but voter registration is every day. So please, if you know someone that hasn't registered to vote and is qualified, please send them our way or to the website. Also, and we will continue having personnel ready and available to help register people here at City Hall during our counter hours. And then also, more importantly, I want to invite every member of the community, whether they are current registered members, current people to vote, or if they're soon to be members to vote, to come down on Saturday and Sunday to the mock election that we'll be hosting in the Recreation Division. And it is going to be held between 10 and 4 p.m. Everyone and anyone is welcome to come down and see what the new voting ballot marking machine is all about and what the new voting center is going to be, because it's going to be an entire new experience come March 2020. We're really excited about being able to host and collaborate with the county. So everyone, please come down, tell everybody, because we're one of the centers in the local area. So come on down.
Madam Mayor, I do want to thank Ms. Colombo. We attended a regional city manager meeting, and I found out we're like one of the few cities actually doing this. So I took back everything bad I said about her for the last 2 months. She did good.
Yeah, I echo that. Good job. Do we have any other oral reports? No? Okay. Seeing none, no, we have no closed session, and I will now adjourn to the next regular city council meeting to be held on Tuesday, October 8th at 6 p.m. I apologize. I did want to close the meeting. Lucy, if you can help me.
It was in the honor of Jose Soto.
Yes.
And Jesse, which Jose actually went, my neighbor, he passed away earlier this week, or last week? Over the weekend. He passed away over the weekend. And Jesse was a member of the Imperials Cart Club, ex-member of the Imperials Cart Club, and participated with the city in a lot of our Hawaiian Gardens cart show.
And I believe Roger was also included in that, correct? Yes.
Okay.
So, yes. So I'll go ahead and close this meeting in memory of, again, Mr. Jose Soto, Roger, Mr. Jesse Valadez Jr. Thank you. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. Thank you.